WavyOcho. I'm gonna react to how the calf kick take over the UFC. Alright.
This simple move has completely changed the UFC kick to the calf. Though this move on paper is extremely simple, it's a highly effective strike that has seen its popularity grow in the last couple of years. And in this video, using some
That shit could hurt your leg if you kick your opponent, and that could in the wrong way, that could hurt your leg. That could fuck your leg up. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Or that opponent's leg, you know.
history, interviews, and a little bit of code, we'll try to explain how calf kicks have taken over the UFC. But before we get into answering how the calf kick took over and the history of the move, let's explore what makes the calf kick so effective. Firstly, this kick has so many use cases, and in my opinion, might be the most dynamic strike in all of combat sports. For example, it can completely immobilize a striker with great movement like we saw Alex Pereira do recently to Israel Adesanya in their first fight in the UFC. Granted, Alex Pereira checking Izzy's kicks also helped, but he was able to hit a nerve that we'll get into later in the video that completely immobilized Israel Adesanya and left him vulnerable to a big Pereira left hook in the 5th round. Even Izzy acknowledges the effect of those calf kicks right after the fight in this.
Damn, my son got the big ass fur coat, bro. My son is fly, bro. Got the watch, got the earrings, got the jewelry on his neck, ring, all that, bro.
Yeah, kudos to him for investing in those calf kicks, because yeah, it cost me.
The calf kick can also be used to slow down the explosive shots of a wrestler like Justin Gaethje tried to do against Khabib. Now obviously Gaethje would go on to lose against Khabib, though Khabib would still acknowledge that those leg kicks did hurt, and in general Gaethje hit like a truck. And additionally, as the calf kicks continue to pile up on one leg, this can force a fighter to switch stances like we brutally saw in the Jan Blachowicz, Magomed Ankalaev fight, and in some cases due to the sheer pain can just end fights entirely. Now as you can see, the calf kick is extremely useful, but why is this simple move so effective? Well, it's because the move targets something very important to your body, which is called the peroneal nerve. Shout out this Reddit post for explaining it so cleanly and explaining the medical reason of why calf kicks are so effective, but essentially the peroneal nerve is one of the main nerves that run up your leg and basically gives you all of the mobility and sensation in your legs. Though the thing to note is that this nerve is extremely exposed due to it being located right behind the knee above the calf. I mean, you can just feel how soft and sensitive that part of your leg is, and there's really no way to put any fat or muscle there to protect it. Kind of like a liver shot, there is no amount of conditioning, no amount of muscle that you can put on to protect you from getting hit in this part of your body. It's so sensitive, in fact, that if you simply place enough pressure there by sitting on something very hard for a long time, you can feel your leg go numb. And I'm not gonna lie, I've done this several times whilst on the shitter. So if a simple toilet seat can do the trick, imagine Alex Pereira hitting you right there as hard as he can with a leg kick. You're not gonna have a good time. Now today, obviously we know the effectiveness of the calf kick, but it has only been a recent phenomenon of the last couple of years in the UFC to utilize this kick in volume. So when did the kick start gaining traction? So being the computer science nerd that I am, I downloaded a UFC dataset to explore the popularity of leg kicks in general. So the reason why we're looking at leg kicks in general is because the UFC doesn't differentiate between different types of leg kicks. A kick to the thigh and a kick to the calf are just recorded as a leg kick. So I took this dataset, which can be found in the description below, which basically records all stats from every single fight in the UFC since its conception all the way up until 2021. I then took the total amount of leg kicks attempted per fight. I averaged this number for each year and plotted this on a bar graph. And as you can see, since the beginning of the UFC, the average amount of leg kicks attempted in each fight has gone up per year. Though I also found a very interesting observation online. This Redditor had another conclusion saying that the pace of leg kicks, or the amount of leg kicks thrown per 5 minutes, has relatively stayed the same since 2012. Now with this new perspective, leg kicks are not necessarily being landed more often at a higher rate up until 2021, but rather they're landing more effectively now. So how did fighters start realizing that the most effective leg kick was to the calf and not somewhere else like the thigh? Now, I don't have stats to break down the placement of the kicks, like I said before, since kicks to the thigh and kicks to the calves are counted as simply all leg kicks, so we have to go with historical and anecdotal evidence from former and current fighters. The earliest use of leg kicks used in volume that I could remember is the vicious barrage of leg kicks seen in the Jose Aldo and Uriah Faber fight. Jose Aldo landed 27 out of 29 leg kicks, or basically a leg kick a minute, and everybody could tell the effect of those leg kicks. Many times, Uriah was forced to switch stances, limped on some of the kicks landed, and after one of the rounds, his corner actually had to carry him back to his corner because they were scared at how many leg kicks he was taking. And the pictures of the
Damn, bro, this shit is purple, bro. Nah, son fucked his leg up, bro. This shit is purple, bro.
damage to Uriah's leg after the fight were brutal. But the leg kicks shown in this fight were to the thigh and not the calf. This is due to Muay Thai leg kicks traditionally going to the thigh and not the calf. So what caused the leg kick to go lower? A great article written by The Athletic has one theory as to why the calf kick became so popular. The article details the story of the calf kick as told by Cattell Cubis, the striking coach at the world-renowned mixed martial arts gym American Top Team, who claims to be the one who helped popularize the kick. He says he picked it up from Brazilian striking coach Fabio Noguchi, who picked it up from some Muay Thai fighters in Thailand who were changing up the traditional leg kick. Cubis would first introduce the calf kick to one of his students named Wilson Gouveia, who was a former UFC fighter and at the time was fighting in an organization called MFC, and its effectiveness was instantly shown when Gouveia practically ended his fight with Dwayne Lewis with numerous calf kicks that led to his immobilization and finish in the corner. Another thing about the calf kick that we've been kind of mentioning throughout the video that Cubis mentions in the article is that unlike a traditional leg kick to the thigh, it only takes about 2 or 3 calf kicks to see its effectiveness, since again, there's less meat to protect that area of the leg and the peroneal nerve is highly exposed. Cubis would go on to say after the Gouveia fight, everything would change in terms of the popularity of the calf kick, as Cubis would continue to teach the calf kick to a star-studded roster at American Top Team. Fighters outside of the team would start to take notice of its success, and they would also start to adopt this move in their own arsenal. One such calf kicker from ATT is Dustin Poirier, who describes the effectiveness of the calf kick perfectly.
Like I said about the calf, you can't take many because there's nowhere for the swelling to go. So that's why it's so painful and debilitating. Your nerves and your foot kind of stop working with you. It's bad stuff.
Yeah, there's no meat there either. I was explaining to someone, I'm like, just karate chop your arm right here where the bone is. It hurts just to do that. Now imagine someone kicking that.
Another ATT guy that uses the calf kick is Jorge Masvidal. However, the origins of the calf kick in his interview with Joe Rogan is a little different.
Change the fucking. Do you remember when the calf kick came into the game?
Yeah.
It was Benson Henderson was the guy who first started using it, but it wasn't as effective for some reason. It's like other guys started using it and stopping people with it.
I think yeah, you're right. Benson.
He was one of the first
he chopped
guys.
up Nate with him pretty damn good. Yeah, I use him a lot. I remember I used him a lot for my KJ Noons fight.
Joe Rogan claims, and Jorge Masvidal seems to agree, that Benson Henderson started to adopt the kick around 2012 and was the first guy to really use it in volume. Jorge Masvidal also mentions that when he was hit with the calf kick, maybe when he was training at ATT, he recognized the effectiveness of the kick, and so he started using it, starting with his fight against KJ Noons. Though the origins of the calf kick are slightly different depending on who you ask, I think the timeline is consistent amongst all the stories we saw. Sometime around 2011, 2012, somebody introduced the calf kick and people started to see the effectiveness of the move. And now that brings us to today, where essentially the calf kick is used like a jab. It is probably the most quintessential move for any modern striker and any modern mixed martial artist in general. I think because of its dynamic use case, it can be used in practically every single scenario. And I think because of this, it's going to be a staple in today's era of mixed martial arts. Anyways, what do you guys think of?
Okay, that's the vid, bro. Like, yeah, bro. Let me know, bro. Like, I remember like Anderson Silva. I think Anderson Silva like tried to do that, move the calf kick, bro, and it like fucked up his whole leg, bro. Like y'all remember that injury, like that Anderson Silva, like y'all remember that fight that he had with somebody, bro, and he tried to go for the calf kick and it like OD his leg, bro. That shit was looking mad disgusting. I ain't gonna hold you. But yeah, bro, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Y'all know the vibes. What we just checking out you are.